say something dumb, we can edit it out.
Perfect. Perfect.
But dude, I want to give you some props right off the bat. You're like one of the most prompt and professional amateur fighters I think we've ever worked with. Like you're right on time for this. You're always on weight, always on time for weigh-ins. Like where does that discipline come from?
I appreciate that. Well, it really starts back from my first fight. That first opportunity you guys gave me. You know, I always wanted to make a good first impression with you guys, and that's with anybody I meet. I hold myself to a high standard. My character is really important to me, so anything I do, I always give it 100%. So that plays into the professionalism. I want to establish a good relationship with you guys, so you keep wanting me back.
Well, you've definitely done that. I think even the fights that you've had outside of 247, I'm sure we were hitting you up for a fight around that
Yep,
time.
100%.
We've tried every show we've had. We've always tried to get you on, so it's always cool when
Yep.
it works out, man. This one coming up, June 29th, is a fun one, man. I know you and Colby both have been looking forward to this one. So, what's this feel like for you to have the opportunity to have, a little redemption for you?
Well, after our last bout, we both talked about a rematch, and we both wanted one. We didn't think it'd happen this soon, but how everything worked out, it's going perfect. We both got a win since our last time we fought, so the hype's building up. We got momentum coming into this, but after that last a draw, it doesn't happen that often, and fighting to say the least. So that was kind of a shock to both of us, and just how our last bout, happened, with how everything went. But especially, 2-minute rounds. I'm excited that this time it's 3-minute rounds, no shin guards, and normal rules. So, but yeah, we're just both excited for this. So.
Same here, man. We're super excited for it too. So was your first fight under novice rules? I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, it was, and that really played a big part in it because, like, the conditioning is so huge. So 2-minute rounds, between 2 and 3 minutes, that extra minute, it makes a big difference. So I feel like I definitely had more in the gas tank in our last fight. And the first round, not a whole lot happened. Second round, not a whole lot happened, and then third round, I actually started letting my strikes take over, and I just felt like I ran out of time. So I just been waiting for this opportunity again to go the 3-minute rounds, and I bet Colby's feeling the same way too. So,
Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. I think you did yourself a lot of goodwill with the Pennsylvania Commission when we went to Ohio for that Cincinnati card. And the amateur rules there are essentially like Pennsylvania's advanced amateur rules, basically the
yeah,
same rule set. And you got to win there by submission. So I think it was the first win of your career. I think it showed that without shin guards and with a little more time, you could actually be more effective. So have you found that to be a huge factor for you, that you just really prefer that advanced rule set?
yeah. Conditioning is one thing I always take pride in. So, being able to outlast my opponents and be more conditioned than them. So that 2-minute rounds, that kind of plays into my opponent's advantage. Where they don't have to wait and go the 3-minute rounds. If it goes the whole distance in the fight, there's 3 less minutes in that whole fight they have to worry about. So that kind of takes away my advantage. So that's why I prefer the 3-minute rounds. And then the shin guards. I like to kick, and with those shin guards, it just feels like I can't. I have no traction with them. And then when you're on the ground trying to do any type of jujitsu, especially with what I like to do, involves my legs. I can't. It restricts your movement a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way to look at it, and a great advantage that we can see in your fights, because not only that fight in Ohio, you got a super nice triangle armbar that was up for submission of the year. And then in your last fight, you had the draw with Colby in between, but in your last fight, you got another triangle choke submission. So you're on a tear, which it's funny to me that knowing your debut, it was really clear that grappling was your weakness in that debut. I mean, I don't know if people really remember the fight, but
Yeah,
I
I
definitely,
remember it.
yeah, I'm sure you do. I definitely remember, though, you caught Val on the feet at one point. You clipped him really
Yep.
nicely. Your striking looked really good, and you definitely clipped him at one point, but he just kept going back to the wrestling well, and it just, you didn't have an answer for that. And then your second fight was the same thing. You just didn't have an answer for the grappling. But now you're finishing dudes from your back, which makes you an extremely dangerous fighter. So where does that grappling, how much did you work on your grappling and really focus on that aspect of your game after those first two fights?
Well, I mean, especially after my loss to Val, especially in that first round, we looked at it. I was setting up the triangle, and I turned the wrong way, which opened up the triangle completely. So I wasted all that energy to get that triangle just for me to ruin it by turning the wrong direction. And then Val was able to get right out of it. And since that moment, we've hit triangle nonstop to where it's automatic. So I don't even have to think twice about it. So it's been one of my go-to, not just in like fighting itself, but jiu-jitsu tournaments as well. I love going for it, whether it's off my back or mount or some crazy position. Triangle's really been a go-to for mine. But that's one thing I haven't gotten to do a whole lot is strike. That's why I'm really excited with this Colby fight, because I say a little bit more than half the fight was on our feet, striking, especially the third round. Majority of it was just striking. So I really want to actually show off my striking. My first fight, I landed that one shot on Val, but I haven't really. Most of my fights have been going to the ground, so I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
Well, it's funny you say that because I know myself and the whole company and all of our fans included are excited to watch you strike some more again because, like you said, you've been in really grappling heavy contests. But I think this Colby fight is the one where you guys will get to mix it up on the feet a little more with no shin guards, with
Yep.
ground and pound allowed if it does go down. It just all adds up to a super exciting fight. But I want to talk about your kind of career progression in general because with the start of your career, man, a lot of guys would have just bagged it up, said this isn't for me kind of thing. But you've done the exact opposite. Now 2-0-1 in your last three, putting together a really nice run. Where do you see yourself as a fighter in terms of your career? Where are you looking to go from here? How many more amateur fights do you want? What's kind of your progression looking like?
Well, after my first three fights, again, nobody wants to start off like that. So we just had to. That was a big test mentally, whether or not to see if I'm really about this or not. And
Yeah.
I know what I am, and I don't ever give up. So we just took it one day at a time, one training session at a time, and one fight, one win at a time till we work our way out ourselves out of this hole. So that's been the goal, was to get that first win, and then our next goal is to even that record back up, and then after that we want to look for a title. I want an amateur title before even go pro, so but that amateur title is a big goal of ours. So
Well, you're definitely on your way, man, with the run you're on. That's what it's all about as an amateur. I think a lot of fighters could look at your career, a lot of young amateur fighters could look at your career and draw a lot of inspiration from it because you're literally the perfect example of what an amateur career is supposed to do for a fighter. You're supposed to identify your weaknesses, work on them, get cage experience, and round out your game and become ready to be a pro. And that's exactly what you've done. I mean, like we said, you turn what was your biggest weakness now is an area of strength for you. And I think that's a lot of amateurs' goals. Now you add in the fact that your striking is still there. You're becoming an ultra dangerous guy. So I think when you talk about a title, you're really not far off, man. And I know for sure there's a fight we've talked about a lot that I would love to
I
see
know.
for the 247 title.
I really think that'd be a really big title right there.
Yeah.
Good title fight.
Yeah, so obviously you got Colby coming up, and I know you're not looking past him, but I do want to talk about the potential. This is 100%, ladies and gentlemen listening, totally not a real thing yet, just something that I've discussed with Cam and his team a lot. I think Cam versus Craig Perry would be a completely insane fight. Two guys with very similar career trajectories, starting out 0-3, and then just bouncing back and creating an area of weakness into a strength. They're like very mirror images of each other and super exciting fighters. So when you think about that matchup, how do you see yourself matching up with Craig?
You know, a lot of our styles, I think, can compare very easily together because he loves to strike. He's got that Conor McGregor style, that karate stance that he likes to throw kicks out of. And that's exactly where my background comes from. He's had a lot of fights where he's gotten to show off a lot of his striking. Me, on the other hand, most of my fights I've now gotten to show off my grappling. So, like I said, I'm really looking forward to this next one to show what I can do on my feet. But as far as me and Craig Perry goes, we got the same story, like you said. So it's almost like we're destined to meet in the cage. We've both been very supportive of each other, since the beginning of our careers. So it'll be really nice to, have it all wrap up with a big title fight going against each other. I think the crowd would love that. Two strikers. I mean, yeah, it'll be exciting.
Also, just two of the nicest guys you'll meet in amateur MMA. It'll suck that one of you has to lose that fight, to be honest. But also, the Colby Potts aspect of it, that's Craig's teammate, of course. So if you do beat Colby on June 29th, that sets up a little bit of a revenge angle for Craig as well. So there's a lot going into that one that makes it really juicy. But like we said, man, Colby's ultra tough. We know Colby's dangerous. Obviously, you guys fought to a draw already, so you're about as even as it can get. But you look at this fight specifically, what do you think you've improved since that first one that may surprise him?
I mean, like I said, I've continued to improve my grappling. Now it's just to get to the point where I feel free on my feet, with my striking. That's one thing that happened in that third round with me and him is I finally started to feel comfortable and free and let my striking take over. And that's something that we've been working on getting out of me. So that's something we've been working at constantly. So.
Love it, man. I think you've already made a pretty good pitch for yourself for why people should get a ticket or buy the live stream. But if somebody's never seen you fight and they want to watch you on June 29th at BitB21.5, what would you tell them to convince them to go ahead and pull the trigger and be there?
Well, I mean, if they want to see a fight where two guys are going to stand in the center of the cage and throw down, then this is going to be the one. Colby, me and him both do jiu-jitsu, so we both know we can grapple, but we both like to strike, and I know he won't be afraid to stand in the center and throw hands. So it'll be a very exciting and fun fight to watch. I know some of my background, especially with a more traditional background, could potentially be more unique for the viewers, and as far as what they see often in the cage and what they don't see often. So I feel like they can definitely see some stuff they don't see as often, and that's always exciting.
I was going to have that be the last question, but I thought of something that I've been wanting to ask you that I never did. But in Ohio, that fight, what was the weight of that fight? It was a 130 catch weight, I think.
My very last one.
No, the one for us in Ohio, in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was a 130 catch weight.
But that was same day weigh-ins. So I just want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about your weight cutting process because you've never missed weight. You've never even been close to missing weight for us. But like you said, you come from a more traditional background, not like wrestling or something where you're constantly cutting weight. How have you been able to dial in your weight cuts so well? Because, dude, when you signed a 130 catch weight with same day weigh-ins, I gotta admit, I was like, oh, man, I don't know if he can do that. But you did, and you look great in the fight.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that weight cutting was definitely something new to me. Just as far as I've been on a strict diet for a long time now. So I know I can fluctuate my weight pretty easily between 5 or 10 pounds, but it's those extra 5 or extra 10 pounds. And this one especially, that 130 is really kind of low for me. I like 135, but that 130, especially that same day weigh-in, I was cutting from, I believe, around 150 or so, 150 plus to that 130. So that was definitely a new new challenge for us. I also wanted, what we did differently with that is, just in case I ever needed to take a fight last second in the future where I needed to cut a whole bunch of weight last second, to see how much weight I could actually lose last second. So most of that weight cutting didn't happen until the final 2 or 3 days leading up to that fight. And, I was able to hit right on 130 on the
That's
dot.
crazy.
So
good to know you can do it, though, man. I mean, of all things, now you proved to yourself you can, and you got out with the win, so that couldn't have gone much better. But yeah, like you said, this one should be a little more comfortable for you, especially with the day before weigh-ins, give you more time to rehydrate, man. We're always excited to work with you and your team, brother. I appreciate you showing up, being on time, and talking a little bit. This was great. Yeah, man. I'll see you soon. I'll see you on June 29th in Monroeville. BitB21.5, ladies and gentlemen. That's Cam Smith. Have a good one, brother.
Hey, you too, man. Thank you.
Yep, take care. All right, we are rolling right along. We got another guest waiting patiently backstage at work. What a legend. What's up, man? How you doing, Cam?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, bro. I just realized we went from Cam to Cam. We had Cam Smith. Now we got Cam Jenkins, one with a C, one with a K. This is Cam with a C. So where do you work, dude? First off, joining us from work, what do you do?
So I'm a property manager for Section 8 housing. So, everyone's obviously Section 8 is just like the low income community. And I work for Community Housing Network. So they're like a local company here in Columbus. And that's what they do. They do permanent supportive housing. So I'm one of the property managers at their locations.
Well, good for you, man. I mean, that's a great job that obviously people need, but I'm sure that comes with its fair share of drama is not really the word I'm looking for, but it's got to be tense and difficult at times, right? Like, how do you handle that?
I mean, just rolling with the punches, kind of expecting every day is going to be different. Every day might have another challenge, and just being ready to deal with it and then moving on.
Does it get you ready for training, though? Like, get you all amped up at work, then go let out that aggression?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, training is like really relaxing for me. I mean, it's one of those places where I can get all my energy out. So yeah, definitely. Besides playing my PC, but yeah, definitely one of those times where I can just get that anger out or frustration or whatever I'm feeling.
Love it. You a big gamer?
Yeah, absolutely, big gamer.
I didn't know that. What's your game of choice?
Probably right now, me and my friends are playing New World and Helldivers 2. Then we still play Smite. I know not the most popular games. I don't play a lot of Call of Duty or anything like that. I like to chill out when I'm playing, but every now and then I'll hop in like Apex or something like that.
That's great. I've heard of Helldivers, but I haven't heard of the other ones you mentioned. I'm not really much of a gamer. I'll find a game once in a while that I get addicted to. Like I fell in love with Bloodborne recently, and I've been playing that for years, dude. To me, it's the best game that I've ever played. But yeah, not super much of a gamer. Are you like every day at 8 p.m. you're at your computer?
Every day. If I'm not at training, I'm chilling at home or playing my PC or hanging out with my friends. So yeah, like if I'm done with training, shower real quick, I'm on the game with the boys. It's always fun.
Did you build your own gaming rig?
Yeah, that and one of my friends helped me, and then we put it together at my house, and then started playing it that day, and I was up and running.
That's awesome, dude. Learn something new every day. I didn't have you pegged for a gamer. That's surprising. That's why the podcast is great.
Not many people do, I feel like, but it's okay.
Has it been your whole life you've loved games, or is it something more recently as you've been an adult?
Definitely my whole life. Like growing up, I had like the Nintendo 64, the Wii, the GameCube, the Xbox 360, Xbox One, all that stuff. Whew. So yeah, along with that, the video games, anime, all that. So big nerd over here, but it's all good.
Big nerd energy. Love it. Love it. I got to ask now, you got to rank your top 3 games of all time for me.
Oh, man. Okay.
I know that this is going to kill you a little inside, but this is what we're here for.
All right. Number 1, huh? Halo 3, number 1.
Okay.
Because all the memories I have with that game, with all my friends, and playing that game forever since like the time we were kids. So like even now going back, like we all hang out, we'll like play Halo 3 or something like that. Especially since they remastered it. So, number 2, oh man, Modern Warfare 2 for sure.
Oh,
you can't miss. Yeah, you can't miss with that one. Always
that's one. When I was in college, I did log some serious hours on that one. I'm very familiar with that one.
And then Call of Duty Modern War.
Okay. I don't think I've ever played that one. Is that a newer one or an old one?
Old one. First time they introduced zombies. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I remember
Okay.
that when that first came out. That was something special.
I love it, man. I love that because everybody games differently, right? Like I prefer kind of like single player games just by myself, not online, not nothing, just playing through a story. Like I love The Last of Us as well.
Yeah.
And you seem like more of a gamer who's about community and like playing with your friends, being online, like doing the parties, which is great.
Yeah.
That's fun, man. So it shouldn't surprise me though, knowing what I know about how you and Lucas's relationship has been and how important like supporting people who support you is, just like Lucas. So that really adds up with how you game too. But for this fight card, Lucas being in the main event and you, of course, making your 247 debut, but your second MMA fight overall. What's that like for you, man? We've heard Lucas talk about it, but from your perspective, what's it like being on a card with him?
It's something that like we always talked about like before that I even started fighting. I was like, but if I did fight, it'd be sick if we were on the card together. And now we're on the card together. And now he's the main event, and I'm on it. So it's like it's a really cool. It's gonna be a really cool experience for both of us. Hope to go in there and get my hand raised. That's the plan. So both of us will get our hand raised really, and then go out and watch that McGregor fight.
If it happens, who even knows what's happening with that
That's
now?
true. Yeah, no. Hopefully.
I know we've had a lot of people thinking about it, and of course, we want to see the McGregor fight too after that. So the second show, BitB22, starts at 6, so it'll definitely be over before he fights, if he fights. But right now, we're like, is this even happening? What's going on here? It freaking sucks.
Yeah.
So obviously, you had a pretty distinguished wrestling background, but when did MMA come into your life? When did you decide like you want to take it beyond just the wrestling mats and actually fight?
Right after I cornered Lucas for his first fight. Literally, I walked out of there and I was like, yeah, I want to be here.
That was Lucas's debut with us that you cornered him? Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that now, yeah. BitB12, I think, at the casino, man. That was a good show too. So that was a cool experience for you, a good environment, I'm sure. What did
Yeah.
it feel like being a part of that cornering and just that environment with that crowd? It was a really good crowd that night.
It was a little intense. I'm sure. I know Lucas has talked about it on the previous podcast, and I was like stressing out because I couldn't find the gloves.
Mhm.
And looking back, I'm like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like I was gonna find gloves eventually, but at the time, like, what if they don't let me in? I'm overthinking it, and just. But after that, like seeing him in there, seeing him do his thing, how excited he was, and just the experience of it all was something I was like, yeah, I want this too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again.
I won't say I'm happy that you were stressed out a little bit, but it does give good perspective to how our team feels on fight night as well. Like every little thing feels like a huge fire, even if it's not. It's like, oh, everything matters so much on fight night. So that's how it feels for us too, man. But now, obviously, getting into 247 cage, what is this experience been like for you? You get that win in your MMA debut. Obviously, you want to keep that momentum going. How are you feeling just as your development as a fighter and coming into this BitB21.5 showdown?
I feel like I'm a lot. I feel like I would have myself and I would have kicked my ass my last fight or my first fight for sure. Like just the way things are flowing now, how much better I'm getting, and like just the consistency of me coming in. Just now, like it's starting to click in my mind how wrestling clicks my mind. So now it's starting to all just flow together, and it feels really good. It's like it's like a peaceful feeling that like I know that no matter I'm not going to freeze. I'm going to flow, and just whatever happens happens. So definitely a little bit of like confidence there for sure. Just knowing myself and knowing my training partners and everyone else, like the people I train with give me confidence that I'm as good as I think I am. So feels good.
Well, training at Immortal, man, anybody who knows that team, knows the people in that camp and the people that are getting you prepared. How fortunate do you feel that you were in Columbus? It's not like you're traveling an hour to get there, it's there, and it just happens to be one of the best gyms in the freaking world. How fortunate do you feel to have them right in your backyard?
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, just seeing like when you see Matt in there, it's like a different energy, you know. It's like that's the immortal Matt Brown. Like he's just walking around. Like I fist bump and I'm like, this is still like to this day I'm still like, that's awesome that like I just fist bumped Matt Brown. Like never like in high school or anything else would I thought that would be happening. And then on top of that, Mark Coleman's there too, and seeing him, he's yelling at me and fist bumping me. I'm like, this is crazy. So, and just being in there with all those guys in that environment, like they're all great guys, great people in there. Obviously, main training partner is Josh Pereira, so can't go like I got everything I need, but I still enjoy going down to Stout and getting trained down there. Their facility's great, and seeing Lucas and everyone else, and just getting a different look and feel. Like it's
Sure.
nice, it's great.
How often do you come to Pittsburgh to train at Stout? What's your schedule kind of like with that?
It's kind of sporadic. I was just down there last Saturday. So me and got some sparring rounds in, moved around. So it was me and my boy Liam Alacardi came down there. So he's a photographer. So it was cool. And he was on our wrestling team in high school. Like we all grew up in middle school together and through high school. And now we're here and now we're doing our fighting. And then he's still doing his photography. So it was that made it a lot cooler this time. But just it's very sporadic. I want to get down there more often. I've just been dealing with some of an injury, so that's why I've been more so back and forth.
I got you, man. And this fight at BitB21.5, you kind of went through it a little bit with this one, with a fight cancellation and then a rebooking. Your new opponent's very different than your original opponents, but you guys didn't hesitate at all in accepting it. So we thank you for that and appreciate you being about that life. But Malcolm Harris, man, it's a tough test for anybody, especially him making his debut. You know, there's no footage on him, comes from a wrestling background as well. What do you think about the matchup, or do you not even really consider styles at this level?
I'm not really considering styles. I mean, I train in all aspects of the game, so I'm prepared for whatever.
That's sick. How much have you found on him, or do you even want to find on him? I'm just curious if there is still any research, or if you're just going in and totally trusting yourself.
I know he's a wrestler, and I think Lucas told me that he did like some Naga competition in jiu-jitsu or something. Yeah, still, I'm confident in myself wherever I'm at.
I love it, man. How do you prepare yourself though? Because it's more of, once you turn pro and at higher levels that really you start breaking down film and tendencies, because amateurs change so much fight to fight that it's almost going to do you more harm than good if you watch their old fights. But how do you get ready for somebody when you're going in totally raw and it's just like, I don't know what this guy's going to do? You just hope that you can impose your will and trust it, leave it at that.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like I said, I mean, I train jiu-jitsu, I train Muay Thai, I train boxing, I train everything. So regardless of where the fight goes, I'm capable of defending myself or handling myself or whatever word you want to use. I mean, going in there, why would I not think I'm the best? Why would I not think I'm ready for this fight? So, and I love the competition. Like that's what I want. I want a tough fight. I want a hard fight. I don't want to find anyone that's going to be easy, because to me that just is a waste of my time. I mean, I'm here to be the best. So
I love that mentality, man. And it's clear you're taking the steps to kind of get to that next level. Obviously, Lucas being a pro now, 1-0, about to have his second pro fight. Are you kind of looking at the way he handled his career as a roadmap for yourself, or are you on your own kind of path, a different journey?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, so me, Lucas, and Josh have a group chat, and so pretty much how I decide on who I'm gonna say yes to is like I get the opponent, I send in the group chat, and they're like yes or no, and like that's it. Like that's all right. My boys trust me, said they think I'm ready, so let's do it.
Love it, man. I love the support system you have, man. I love your attitude. I've seen you at so many 247 fights, but never competing. So it's an honor to finally get you in there, dude. I'm super hyped for this. June 29th, ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets. Support Cam Jenkins. He fights Malcolm Harris on the early card. It starts at noon. So get there early. Full day of MMA and Muay Thai goodness, and then a huge pro heavy card at night. It's going to be a good day in Monroeville, man. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Get back to work now. Later, bro.
Later.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Cam Jenkins. He fights Malcolm Harris in an amateur lightweight MMA showdown at BitB 21.5. And we have another BitB 21.5 competitor joining us now from Morgantown, West Virginia, Mr. Logan Crow. What's up, dude? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. How's How's it going with you guys?
Good, man. Everything's super solid right now. How's life? Are you in Morgantown right now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Where do you live? Like, whereabouts in Morgantown do you live?
It's a place that's out called the Mile Ground, so it's kind of on the outskirts.
I know it. I went to WVU. I don't know if I told you. I graduated in 2013, actually, from WVU, so I'm semi-familiar. I definitely know the Mile Ground.
Gotcha. All right, cool, man.
Yeah, I bought a car there. My first car I ever bought, I bought at that little. I don't even know if it's still there, but it's right where the roundabout is now. There was a used car dealership right there, and I got my first car ever when I was in school right there.
Yeah, I think it's still there. There's a couple up here now though.
It was an awesome experience. He was your classic like slimy used car salesman, but he was like, "Hey, if you want a car, I'll get you a car. Like, just go to your bank, bring me a check, and you can have the car." I was like, "All right, sweet,
No problem."
yeah, we got it handled." So what's up, man? How are you feeling? Obviously, June 29th, you've got a Muay Thai showdown, which I love. You know, we're super excited to introduce Muay Thai to our offering. You are fighting Joao Martinez, who fans of 247 know Joao very well. You are going to be new to our fans, but that's very exciting. I'm excited to work with your whole team, that Fight Society team, and Coach Edson. You guys seem like you're really buttoned up, really ready to roll. So I guess just to start it, where did your Muay Thai journey start? When did you get into the sport?
It's been about I'd say 2 years ago. So actually, I work with Edson's wife at the hospital. So she kept trying to like, oh yeah, come to the gym. So at that time, I was a little bit heavier. I was about 185 pounds. Had to put on some college weight and really wanted to get that off, and did it for about a year and lost down about 40. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be in shape, might as well do some fights, try and train and see how it goes. And I did my first one in May. It was ISKA in Delaware tournament. I fought that one. Got some good experience. But it is exciting to actually fight with you, for you guys, and in front of an actual crowd. The tournament, it wasn't really a crowd. You get like family and stuff there, but it's not really fans of anything.
Right. Yeah. When we did our first grappling super fights card, Brawl in the Burgh, it was last summer. That was a lot of feedback we got from grapplers as well, because they're super used to the tournament format just like that. They call your name. There's 12 matches going on at once. Nobody's really paying attention to you besides your coaches and family that came to support. But this is a little different where all eyes are going to be on you two inside that cage. So how do you prepare for that aspect of it? Stage fright, if you will. What do they call it? Octagon jitters. How are you preparing for all of that?
As far as that goes, I mean, I just keep doing the same thing. I train usually every day, run every day, just kind of keep doing what I've been doing. We spar pretty heavy. We do pretty much every day, either boxing or full Muay Thai sparring to kind of prep. And I'm not really worried about the jitters as much. The adrenaline, I know it'll be there, and I know I'll have that big dump, but other than that, it'll be the same as the last one. So
yeah, I was just talking to Cam Jenkins before you jumped on. He's a 1-0 MMA fighter, and he's fighting an MMA debut on June 29th on the same BitB21.5 card. And he was saying that he doesn't really even care to look at footage of his opponents. Obviously, there's not going to be footage on a debut, but in your case, there is footage, a lot of footage on Joao with us, and I'm sure you could find his Muay Thai fight as well. Do you care about that? Do you watch him? Do you care what his style's like at all?
I saw a couple of the videos, but as far as the style goes, I feel like it was a little bit similar to what I faced back at the tournament. And then we've got guys at the gym that fight, and like we've got a good, well-rounded group. You've got taller guys, skinnier guys, faster, slower, heavy hitters. Like, it's just a good group, and so sparring with them, I'm kind of used to a little bit of everything. So I'm not really worried about what he's going to throw at me. It's more just sticking to my game and just kind of pushing what I want to do.
I love that, man. I love it. Doesn't surprise me at all to hear you say that with your team, because just talking to you, talking to Bam, talking to Coach Edson, like, it's very clear that you guys are very put together, very professional, very serious about what you do. Is that an accurate read on my part? Is that the culture at the gym? You guys come in ready to do work, take it very seriously and professionally?
Yeah, we don't really have like a fight team group specifically, so all the classes that we do is pretty much open to whoever wants to come. But it is good because like you get an aspect of like you get to train hard and put in extra work, but you also get to teach people that haven't really done anything like that before or are just in it to exercise, and it's just a different atmosphere. You look at things from a different perspective. You really focus on the basics a lot more, I'd say. It really makes you ingrain those just
I
because you
love
have to prepare for that.
Yeah, for sure. There's something to be said for locking down your fundamentals. You know, you see that at every level of literally every sport. The fundamentals never go out of style. They always work, and it's good to keep that in your back pocket and be super solid there. Do you have any background or interest in grappling at all, or was Muay Thai kind of stand-up fighting always your passion?
I did a little bit of wrestling back in like middle and high school, and I really loved it. And there's a little bit of interest to eventually maybe try it out, but for now, I really just want to stick to Muay Thai, really improve in that. And when I feel confident that I know what I'm doing in that, which who knows how long that'll take, then
Yeah.
I'll maybe stretch it a little bit and try something new.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not trying to get you over to MMA. Don't worry about that. That wasn't the intent with that. I was just mostly curious because MMA in the United States, it's such a more popular sport than Muay Thai right now. It seems like Muay Thai is definitely on the come up though, and people are starting to understand how fun it can be and everything. So I was just more so curious what drew you to Muay Thai versus MMA or even Jiu-Jitsu is much more popular than Muay Thai right now. So what was it about Muay Thai specifically, besides the connection with Edson's wife? Besides that, was there something about the sport itself that really drew you to it and you were like, man, this is my thing. I love this.
I'd say really like the camaraderie that you see with Muay Thai, especially like watching the guys in Thailand on like one championship and RWS. Those guys, like, they'll beat the crap out of each other for 15 minutes and then they're hugging at the end. Like it's out of respect and the toughness that those guys show. I feel like Muay Thai tends to have you draw a tougher crowd because of the power that goes behind the strikes, and it's kind of hard for people to get over that because each strike, Taekwondo, stuff like that, like quicker strikes, but just Muay Thai, there's so much power that goes with it. Every strike is trying to throw it as hard as you can and really do damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I really liked that part of it, was just the toughness that goes along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And we see that as well with Muay Thai. I'm glad you brought up one championship as well, because they're definitely the big organization that's flying the Muay Thai flag right now. They're doing great things for the sport. And
Yeah.
4-ounce gloves and Muay Thai in a cage is wild to see. It's wild to see.
Tough.
Yeah, dude. Who are some of your favorite Muay Thai fighters? Like, do you look up to anybody or have any favorites?
I mean, there's several that I love. Rod Tang, obviously. I mean, like, just watching those guys that are tough, Joe Nottawut and Tawin Shai. I mean, there's so many guys that are just so good in the sport that it's hard. You can't pick like one dude that's like, they're just all so different. They have different styles that they bring to the table. I love watching. It's so much fun to see those guys like compete, and then they do the super fights and stuff where they'll fight just oddball, like kickboxing, and do whatever they feel like. 3 different divisions. It's just fun to watch.
One's doing some crazy stuff, man. Like Demetrius Johnson, he had that bout where first round was Muay Thai rules, second round was MMA rules, whatever. I'm like, dude, what's one even doing over there? What are you guys up to?
Yeah,
But I love it. It's super fun.
You've got
Yeah,
Rod
dude.
Tang with no grappling experience trying to fight Demetrius Johnson and MMA. It's just crazy that those guys are willing to do that stuff.
It truly is, man, especially at that level, because one's massive, man. I mean, I know Shatri talks a lot. I'm not sure how accurate all of his numbers are, but they are very big. They're obviously, after the UFC, probably the second biggest organization in the world in terms of reach in combat sports. So to do that, especially somebody like Rod Tang, there's a legacy on the line there. Like, even though he doesn't grapple or compete in MMA, he doesn't want to lose, man. He's one of the best in the world at fighting. He doesn't want to lose a fight. So just to even agree to do that is insane to me.
Yeah, and to be like, I think he's 25, and to have like 300 some professional fights at 25 years old is just that. To have that kind of body and he's still able to compete is, I don't know, it's wild to me that you can get hit that many times and
Yeah.
by dudes that are at the top of the game and still be able to come back week after week and pick up those fights against who knows what opponent.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. And that's fights. That's the number of fights he's had that were
Yeah.
official. That doesn't count the training sessions that are essentially fights as well.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle there. They they just do so much every single day. It's their careers.
Yeah. It's wild, man. So obviously, like you said, you had the ISKA tournament in Delaware. You obviously have this Muay Thai fight coming up June 29th at BitB 21.5. Is this something that you want to continue to compete a lot in, or is it more of just kind of a hobby that you compete when you can? Kind of how are you viewing your career, if you will, in Muay Thai right now?
I'm looking at it as a progression. Like I did a tournament, so like now it's like the single card fights. That's I want to try and do some of those, especially like Pittsburgh being so close. Like you can get family there, like you can have friends and stuff. Like people can come watch. But I've got WKA planned for Delaware in August, so that one will be coming up, and that'll be 2 divisions. So I'll do Glory Kickboxing and Muay Thai, so at least get 2 fights at that one.
Beautiful. That's awesome, man. It's cool to see people line them up too. I think I see that more in Muay Thai than MMA for sure, because, you know, our basis as a company was MMA before we got into grappling and Muay Thai. MMA fighters, if they're fighting every 2 months, that's like a crazy pace. You don't really see that. 3 months is like a good pace. Like twice a year is more normal for most fighters. But with Muay Thai, man, you see guys fighting every month. We just talked about like Rod Tang's record and how frequent they are. So does that appeal to you too? Just the sheer volume of fights that you can get in this sport and just continue to gain like rapid experience like that?
Yeah, I mean, even after the last fight, like I was ready to go again. A few minutes later, I'm like, I really want to fight another time. I think last year, Jenny Edson's wife, she fought 19 times last year,
Oh my
and
God.
it was all over the world. She went to Mexico, she went to Canada, she fought in the U.S., she fought in California. Like she was all over the place, just taking fights.
That's so
So
wild.
they've got experience. They know what they're doing, and they're passing that along. And they're a great help. They help us get those fights lined up. And then with Muay Thai, I mean, there's so few close Muay Thai fights that you really have to line them up in advance and be prepared to like take what you can get.
Yep. That's a really great point, man. That's something that we've noticed. And I don't know how closely you've followed us as a company, but we actually just finalized a 10-year lease on our own venue here soon. It should be open fall, winter-ish this year. So we're really excited to get in there. And then we'll be having a lot more regular events once we're in our own space. So to that point, if there's a Muay Thai fighter out there that wants to fight, you know, once a month, wants to try to beat Jenny's 19 fights in a year mark, we might be able to hook something up there and make that happen. So coming soon, man, you may have a lot more Muay Thai opportunities close to home.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Especially, I think we're the only Muay Thai gym, pure Muay Thai gym in West Virginia. So being able to like get some exposure and grow that, maybe see some other gyms pop up would be really great, and maybe even get it to where we can have some Muay Thai fights in West Virginia would be awesome.
Love it, man. Yeah, dude. We look forward to it, and if that's part of the plan, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll come to Morgantown at some point. I would love to come back just personally. I miss Morgantown a little bit. Although I'll say I was back for what was the event? I forget the name of the event. It was definitely a made men MMA show at the waterfront at the Marriott there. And dude, Morgantown is like, I don't even recognize it anymore. It's so grown up.
It's so different. The past few years, they've done so much. It's just different.
Crazy, bro. It's blowing up like crazy, man. But I'm excited to have a little piece of Morgantown in our cage with you and Bam and that Fight Society team, dude. I appreciate you jumping on the podcast as well, man. It looks like a beautiful day out there. So I'm going to let you get back to it, bro. But thanks for being a part of it. And we'll see you June 29th. We'll actually see you June 28th for weigh-in. So we'll see you then, bro.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. Take care. See ya. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Logan Crow. He fights Joao Martinez in a Muay Thai showdown, June 29th at BitB 21.5. and we have another guest lined up, looking fly, looking like the weather's nice down there too. Let's tag him in. Let's tag him in. What's up, Malcolm? How you doing, brother?
Ain't nothing, man. Just chilling. Just chilling. Good morning.
Good morning, man. You down in North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
What part of the state?
Columbus.
I don't know.
Right there on
Where's
the
that?
border, about 5 minutes from South Carolina. So
Okay. Okay. So way down there. I got you. What took you? The military took you down there?
yeah. So me and my lady, we finished up our military contracts in San Diego last year, and we had our baby. Sayara Sarabi Harris. Shout out to my little angel. But then we moved over here with her parents for some help. Yep.
Nah, that's beautiful, man. I love hearing that progression for you. And now you're making your MMA debut. So that's obviously a big decision for a father and somebody who has a career going, a nice life going on. What made you think that now's the time to get in the cage?
It was more like it was more so it was calling me. I think I put on the back burner for so long, and this kept eating me up, and I realized, Father Time is undefeated. So if I'm gonna do this thing, I gotta step in there. You know what I mean? Got to put the armor on, and let's just do it. So
yeah, well,
that's it.
You look in great shape, man, and obviously your background kind of speaks for itself with wrestling and boxing. And what I've heard from the Cahill brothers and that whole shop team about you is nothing but good things. So I just want to run it back to you as a kid. What was your first interest in combat sports? What was the first thing that made you enjoy this kind of physical combat?
Oh man. So I started doing karate. I did karate. I believe I was 8 years old. It was Master Miller's Martial Arts in a place called Seward, Pennsylvania. But I'd say that's where it started. And then I had stopped for years. But then my mom, she, I got into the wrestling thing 7th grade, but actually putting it all together, my mom caught me one night, late night. She's watching Cage Warriors. And she said, she's like, you gotta come down and see this. Is crazy. And I seen, I think his name was Charles Wildhorse, right?
Yeah, Crazy Horse. Yeah.
The Crazy Horse. And that's, she's like, that's like you. I was like, nah, that's not me. And then it started really, yeah. Everyone around my city and everyone was like, nah, bro, that's definitely you. So after that, I seen it was just a little bit push. It was like, okay, this guy's crazy. And I want to be like that, except for I just want to put on myself, my own character. So, but yeah.
Dude, say no more. Crazy Horse has been one of my favorite fighters. He was Charles Felony Bennett for a while, Charles Crazy Horse Bennett for a while. I'm not sure what he goes by now, but that dude is the most action-packed fighter to ever step in a cage.
Oh man, isn't he? Yeah, definitely exciting to watch. Win or lose, he puts on a show, man, and I love that.
Have you seen I'm sure you've seen it, but the clip of him where dude has him in an arm bar and he just stands up and starts twirling he first looks in the camera and gives a peace sign, then he starts twirling the dude and just throws him into the cage. It's beautiful.
It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. That level of awareness on top of charisma is just out of this world, man.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. And actually, man, he's insanely talented. Like his athletic abilities are pretty much unmatched in MMA. His power and athleticism was wild, but he was clearly a guy that just didn't take it that seriously. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. I agree.
But did you have that natural, you would say you have that natural kind of fighting instinct in you though?
Got that dog in me. Yeah. Household of seven, man. It crazy times growing up, but yeah, we were all fighters. My mom had ALS over 20 years. Even before that, I mean, fighters. On my dad's side, fighters, but really initially, what it really took to me to understand, I mean, the fight is definitely just seeing my mom's fight for ALS. She had passed away recently, in April, but seeing her fight every day, every night, every waking hour, it does something to you. It does. So, yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was born with it.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be sorry. Man. She's in the best place. I appreciate that. for sure.
No doubt, man. I'm sure like the biggest thing with
I just killed the man. You know, that's just how I feel. So,
feel it,
yeah.
man. I feel it. The big thing in a tragedy like that is always to take something positive out of it, right? And grow from it. And it sounds like that's definitely what you're doing. And as it pertains to your fighting, man, I'm sure that's got to fuel you, right? To go out and get a dub in your debut.
Oh, absolutely. There's that's the ultimate right there. That's the only way to look at life now. I mean, I think we all have setbacks and we all realize there has to be some point to where you go, okay, can't keep making excuses. Okay, I can't be a negative Nancy. So, I mean, yeah, just I have no. This is my last shot for me to be who I know who I am, you know. So the ultimate optimist, the ultimate opportunist, I guess that's what I'm gonna run with. I'm the alchemist, bro. So I'm just taking everything that used to tear me down and I'm trying to rebuild myself up, man. That's really it.
Love it, dude. Well, you're gonna show up at that BitB 21.5 card at noon on June 29th, ready to go. There's no doubt about that. But I do want to talk about
Yes, sir.
real quick the Cahill brothers' influence on you and what your relationship's like with them and that whole shop crew. What's it like working with them and being around them, not only growing up, but now as you're both, you know, full swing in this MMA career?
Those Cahill brothers and the family in general, I love them to death. But they're crazy. Oh, they're crazy. I mean, since I met Tanner, I want to say I was in 7th or 8th grade. But after I met them, we were in the wrestling room with Johnstown guys and other guys at the Carmel Township tournament, playing King of the Mat or King of the Room. You know, I'm tossing everybody and my Johnstown guys and everything. And he comes in and like we just started dog it. There was a dog fight, you know. But after that, we showed some respect. Didn't even know who the guys were. I didn't know they placed in states or anything like that. That's my mindset at the time. But after that, I started growing and developing more into wrestling. I started understanding like these guys are legit, you know. So I mean, we've always stayed in touch in a way, but really start popping off. I want to say after I graduated and such, and I went to the military to start to wrestle. When I did that, Taylor hit me back up and was like, "Hey man, you in it again?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to pursue fighting as well because he, you know, that's what his plans were." And we ever since then, I stayed in their pocket, they stayed in mine, and we just keep trying to give each other that energy and those positive words of encouragement. So that
I love that,
if it wasn't for them, I mean, there's a few other people, but I say primarily, definitely Taylor. He was like, "Oh no, dude, you know, you're too talented. You're a savage." You know, he was pumping my head up again. And I was like, I like this. You know, to have that type of you know energy around you, or even just from afar, and still to connect with you. You know, no matter what you're doing, but to remind you that you do have something significant about you, and you know they want to see you showcase it. It really means a lot to me.
Yeah, dude. What's it like being on the early card and then Taylor's going to fight that night? So what's it like first you get your debut and then you get to watch Taylor go to work later that night? How's that feel to be fighting on the same day as him?
It's an honor. It's definitely an honor because this is things that we talked about so many times years ago. So now you know it's finally here, brought to fruition, and I guess I just got to start with I got to be that guy to start the traction. You know, I got to set the pace, set the movement, and let them know that hey, the shop 814 is here to play. So hopefully y'all ready to play, and that's really what it is. So.
Love it, man. Well, we're
That's it.
definitely ready. I know your opponent's definitely ready. You're ready. It's all adding up to a really good night on June 29th, brother. So I appreciate you being a part of it, man, and taking some time out to talk to us.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked. You know, Cam Jenkins, luck. I hope everything's fine. But yeah, let's give him a show, bro. You know, let's definitely give him a show. Ain't no takedown and none of that. You know, let's give him a show. So.
No doubt, bro. Well, you guys watching the podcast when this comes out, you've heard from Cam and now you've heard from Malcolm. There's no doubt that's going to be an absolute banger. Mark your calendars and get your tickets, man. You guys got me fired up for this fight. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Shout out to
brother.
Johnstown. You know where we coming from. I brought that pain with me.
Love it. Love it, man. Shout out Johnstown. Let's go, dude. It was nice finally catching up with you on the podcast, getting to meet you a little bit, man. I can't wait to see you here at the end of June. June 28th weigh-ins, June 29th fights. Let's go, brother. Thanks for hopping on.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep. Peace, bro. All right. That was Malcolm Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, he fights Cam Jenkins. As you heard from Cam, we've got another competitor, BitB21.5 competitor, lining them all up today from his car, looking fly with the sunglasses. What's
Thank
up,
you,
brother?
man? How you doing, man? You feeling better?
Feeling great. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm still kind of stuffy and congested, but we're getting there. We're
You're
getting
here,
back.
man. That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. How's everything going for you, man? What do you do for a living? You look very
Good,
spiffed
man.
up.
What's that?
I said, what do you do for a living? You look spiffed up with the
I'm
polo.
in the food service industry, man. Yeah.
Nice. What all does that entail? Like, what's a normal day like for you in the food service industry?
Driving a truck, big rig, delivering food, things like that.
What company?
Right here, Gordon Food Service.
Oh, I love it. I couldn't read it, but yeah.
Shout out
So
to them.
Gordon has they have like stores, right?
Yeah, they have their own stores. Yep.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, there's one in Monroeville that I used to go to a little bit. I couldn't remember if that's what it was called. But dude, that's like a hidden gem grocery store for people. They should know about that.
Yeah, it's a good job, man. It keeps me in shape, so keeps the weight off and everything, so I don't have to really worry about losing weight or anything like that. I'm always on weight and ready to go. So
Perfect. Well, you got this one coming up, brother, June 29th, a Muay Thai showdown against Sikarin Ian Bamrung. I have no idea if I said it right or not, but I tried. So here we go. How you feeling for that matchup, bro?
I feel good, man. I feel ready, and I'm just ready to put on a show, especially for 24/7. I've been wanting to get on a card for a while, so.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You said you've been to some of our shows before, right? Supporting the Indio crew.
Yeah, I've been to them since the beginning, I believe. Since you guys started doing events here in Pittsburgh, and especially every time there's a fighter from our gym, I'm always there supporting them. So.
Well, it's cool to see. First off, we appreciate that support, man. That means a ton to us, and it's so cool to hear about people who, whether they're competing or a teammate are competing or not, they're still showing up, still there. So that means a lot to us, man. But along with that, I think Indio Dojo's growth in general has been really cool to watch. It started with just like one or two fighters, and now we've got, I think, 5 or 6 Indio competitors that day on June 29th. So the gym is growing, the fight team's growing. Something's working there with Danilo and Mikey and the crew. So what's it like training at Indio? What drew you to Indio and keeps you there?
So I was actually one of Danilo's first students, maybe like third student, when it was just maybe a quarter of the size that it is now. My brother introduced me to him. My brother trains jiu-jitsu, and I train jiu-jitsu as well, and that's how I started. And then I kind of made the transition to do Muay Thai because the school that I was training at that time, they didn't offer Muay Thai. So I went over there and did some MMA and Muay Thai and a little bit of jiu-jitsu and all that. So yeah, I've been with them ever since they opened up their doors here in Pittsburgh. So the school hasn't been around a long time, but for the time that it has been around, I feel like it's achieved a lot of great things, and this is just the beginning,
Well, anybody who's followed 247 at all and seen Indio fighters, I mean, you guys have seen the quality of fighter coming out of that gym. Evan DeRusi and Hoot Lee are obviously the two that you've seen the most from them in our cage. But now you're about to see Sanad, you're about to see the Chase sisters, you're about to see Jay Manning again. He hasn't fought for a little while, but he's back on June 29th. Bryce De Leon is a Indio debut amateur, so I'm always excited to see a new face from Indio, man. Do you work with the fight team a lot? Like, do you know Bryce and the Chase sisters and everything?
Yeah, I know them as well as Kenny too. I think he's fought on your card.
Yeah, shout out Ken Burrs. I'm sorry, dude. Ken, don't hit me, please. I'm sorry.
Cool dude, man. Cool dude. But I definitely try to make it to the MMA sparring and all that. Especially if I got something coming up myself, then I'm definitely in there. Sometimes I'll just stick to stand up. Sometimes, I'll take it to the ground and all that. Whatever's on the menu for that day, I'm in there,
That's fun, dude. Competitively, are you only interested in Muay Thai? You would never want to fight MMA?
I would dabble in MMA as well, man. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you grow up in Pittsburgh? Because I noticed when we announced your fight, man, you had a lot of local support. It seemed like you had a pretty big support system here in Pittsburgh. Did you grow up here?
So I did grow up here. Originally, I was born in Eastern Europe, former Yugoslavia, currently Bosnia. I came here as a refugee immigrant when I was 6 years old. So I grew up, I've been here most of my life. And, there's a lot of people like me here, or not, I shouldn't say a lot, but a decent amount. And, throughout all these years of me being friends with them, growing up with them, still staying in contact with them, they've supported me a lot, and they come out to my fights. My last fight was up in State College, so about like 3 hours away, and a bunch of them came up there on a Sunday night, which meant a lot to me. So yeah, feels
That's
good,
huge,
man.
man. Well, I
Yeah.
expect to see him again in Monroeville, man, June 29th. I can only assume they're going to come out to support you there as well, and we're definitely excited for that.
It'll definitely be a big crowd. Big crowd.
Sweet. We're
I
hyped for that,
guarantee it.
man. On the fight itself, what do you think about, I'm not sure where you fought Muay Thai before this, but Muay Thai in a cage is different. And as you know, just 247 events, we really try to put a spotlight on the fighters, make it feel big, let the walkouts feel big, the lights, the crowd, everything. How are you feeling about being a part of that environment where it's just you and another man locked in a cage with all eyes on you?
It doesn't change anything for me. I mean, it could be on the mats, it could be in a ring, in a cage, on the street. It's the same thing for me, man.
That's
I'm there.
great. And India, I mean, talk about a gym to be at to kind of beat those jitters out of you, man. Everybody who comes out of India is always ready to go. So that's a testament to what you guys are doing in the
Definitely.
gym. What's it like?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we've had Danilo on the show before and talked about him a ton on the show, but what's it like working with a mind like that? It's kind of hard to understate how distinguished he is in combat sports, in every facet of combat sports. So what's it like going into the gym and working as an amateur and having somebody like that to not only look up to, but to work one-on-one with? What's that feel like?
So most of my work has been with Mikey and Uncle Jeff.
Mhm.
Obviously Danilo's been there, and Danilo he has like a no bullshit attitude. You come there, you're there to train, do your thing, and that's pretty much it, man. Like,
I mean, we get that not only from Danilo, but all of his fighters. I mean, I talked about it with Evan DeRusi a lot on the podcast because Evan specifically is really interesting to me because on fight day, on weigh-in day, I should say, you can tell that dude's just completely in the zone. He's no nonsense. He's not joking around. He's ready to go, like he's ready to murder somebody. But then you get him, no fight scheduled, nothing on the books. He's like the nicest guy ever. He's super happy.
definitely.
But it's that switch, and it seems like everybody at Indio has that switch. So do you guys mentally train as well? Do you do like any meditation, or what's
I
in the
can't
water
speak.
there?
I can't speak for everybody else, but myself, I do. Then again, Evan, he's probably one of the hardest working athletes that I've seen in my life. So big shout out to him and being able to put in all that work, at least that I've seen. So now what guys do outside the gym and all that, they can maybe explain that a little bit more. But like I said, there has to be something more to it, inside the gym, outside the gym. Definitely people putting in more work than a lot of the guys around here, a lot of the other athletes, fighters, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it's something Danilo encourages too. I know if you're not all in, he's not super interested in having you compete under the Indio
Definitely.
banner. So
Definitely.
definitely there's a standard set there for sure, and it's cool that obviously you're meeting that standard, and I'm really excited to see what you got in there, man, and see your skills. But I do want to run it back just a little bit. Muay Thai is not the most common sport in the United States or really anywhere in the world besides maybe Thailand, some countries like that. But what got you into Muay Thai specifically? Did you play other sports growing up, or was it always kind of a combat sports focus for you?
No, I didn't grow up playing any sports. Like I said, it's just that just trying it out, man. Just trying it out. Like I said, doing jiu-jitsu and grappling, and then tried out the Muay Thai, and then ever since then it's just been a part of me, I guess you could say, you know.
So many people, when they try it out, it makes them quit. You know, it's super hard. It's a challenging, whether it's grappling or Muay Thai or like a full MMA focus, whatever it is. It's tough, man. No matter how athletic you are, no matter what background you come for, it's a really tough way to have a hobby. It's a brutal physically and mentally. So what about it stuck with you and made you think, you know, I love this. Like, I'm into this. This is going to be my thing.
Like you said, the challenge, just the challenge of it, and just constantly learning new things, or even what you know, perfecting it or trying to perfect it, you know. And last year I actually got the chance to go to Thailand and do a little bit of training and kind of see, you know, how they do things over there. And so that was pretty cool, you know, getting to experience all that. And yeah.
That's great, man. Well, it's cool to watch your journey unfold, and always great to have another India Dojo competitor in our cage, man. You guys are awesome to work with. Say nothing but great things about your team. So I expect nothing less from you, man. We're super excited for June 29th and can't wait to get you in there, man. Appreciate you taking some time out of your job. I don't want to get you fired though, so we'll let you get back on the road and deliver some goods.
Oh, I'm done with work, man. I made sure I was all good, and you know, I had time to talk. But yeah, like I just wanted to say as well, at India, it's a lot like a family feel, you know. We're all there for each other, support each other, you know. Everybody has their good days, bad days, and all that. And what matters the most is we get through it and you know, go on to the next challenge. So
Absolutely, brother.
big shout out to everybody there, and Coach Mikey and Uncle Jeff and Danilo and everybody else training there, and everybody that has fights coming up, you know.
There's a bunch, man. The Indio crowd's going to be there fully on June 29th for BitB21.5 and BitB22. Indio's all over those cards. So we're excited to work with you, man. We're excited to see you in your Muay Thai, our Muay Thai debut as well. So it's really cool having you in there. You got a great matchup against another Fight Society guy from Morgantown. So we're stoked for it, brother. We'll see you on June 28th for weigh-ins, and then showtime June 29th. I'll see you in Monroeville.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Enjoy your day, brother.
You too, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more guest. He's been so patient backstage. You may recognize this guy. Oh, where's he at? Why is it just black? It froze. As soon as I put him on the screen, it froze. Oh, no. He disappeared. We have one more BitB25, 21.5. Goodness, getting way in the future. 21.5. BitB21.5 competitor, a pro MMA fighter. He's been so patient backstage this whole time, and then he just disappeared. So I don't know if his phone died or what, but we'll hear from him, Mr. Shaka Worthy. In the meantime, I guess we'll just run down. Obviously, on this show, you've been hearing from BitB 21.5 competitors from the jump in MMA and Muay Thai. This is our first ever card that features both Muay Thai and MMA in the cage. It is one of the first Muay Thai in a cage events in Pennsylvania history also. So Muay Thai in a cage, you guys are going to be seeing a lot more of that in Pennsylvania. It's legal now. Promotions are catching on. Obviously, we're doing it. I mentioned with Logan when we're in our venue, you know, it's something we're going to do more. So if you guys like Muay Thai and you like Muay Thai in the cage, you can go ahead and get real excited about that. So I'm not sure where Shaka went, but when he jumps back in, we'll get him in here. But in the meantime, we'll just run down BitB 21.5. I mean, June 29th, Monroeville Convention Center starts at noon. It's an early start time, and then BitB 22 starts at 6 p.m. Please keep in mind, please, they're two different shows, two different tickets. If you want to come to both shows, you need to have both tickets. So if you want to come to the early show, that's got Lucas Siebert versus Nathaniel Grubham in the main event. It's got Miguel Francisco's pro debut against Pat Carasquillo, who's also making his pro debut. It's got Shaka, who disappeared into the ether a second ago. So as long as he didn't actually disappear from Earth, he'll be on that card as well against Mike Thompson. Two crazy vet. I mean, they got like 20 pro MMA fights experience and countless amateur fights otherwise. Just two of the most experienced guys you'll see. So it's got those 3 pro fights at the top. You heard from a lot of the AMI and Muay Thai fighters on this podcast and our most recent episode. Joel Martinez was on that one as well. So it's stacked. It's AMI MMA, AMI Muay Thai, Pro MMA, a little something for everybody. And check this out. Tickets are like half price of what you're normally seeing from us. You know why? Because it starts at noon. It's a matinee, ladies and gentlemen. We take care of you. We understand. If you want to come out on a Saturday afternoon, we get it. It's not the premier 6 p.m. Saturday nightlife attraction. So we're taking care of you. Tickets are cheaper. If you want to come to 21.5, tickets at 247fighting.com. Get them. It's all through Eventbrite. Super easy. You choose your fighter at checkout. Whoever you want to support, just let them know. Okay. Shaka's coming back in. He said it froze up on my end, and he had to jump off and back in. There he is. He's back in here. We will conquer technology together, Shaka. What's up, dude?
What's up? It froze up on me. Then I had to get back in and hop back out and all the good stuff.
Dude, that was funny. You were so patient back. You were back there for like 10 minutes, and then the second I added you in, it froze. I was like, damn.
I didn't even I know he was saying something, and then it just froze up in the middle of him talking. I was like, oh, I think they're logging off or something. But
yeah,
all good.
It's all right, man. You're here now, live from work. Also, I appreciate that, man. How'd you get a couple minutes away?
All right, I gotta watch my words.
No. We're actually not live.
All good. Shit, they gonna get it regardless.
I was gonna say, like, you'd censor yourself anyway. Who are you kidding? How's everything going, bro? How you feeling for June 29th?
Oh shit, I'm good, honestly. I feel great. Kind of regular, it's like in 2 weeks. So this is always like a weird week because it's like, all right, close enough, but it's not really right around the corner. But everything good. Shit, my son just finished 3rd grade, so I got all that shit going on. Yeah, can't complain.
Growing right up, man. How's the dad life with that? Getting old, going into 4th grade now. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's going into 4th grade. It's great. Like that's my little dude.
He's freezing up again. He's freezing up on us again. I don't know. Let's see if I can hear you now. Are you there? Are you still there? Yeah. I think you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It froze up when you were talking about 4th grade.
Oh man. the 4th grade. We're excited for it though.
That's awesome, man. Well, he's got a good role model to look up to with you, man, in terms of
appreciate you, man.
Not just the fighting, man, but anybody who's around you. You're one of those dudes that just puts a smile on people's faces, unless they're in the cage with you. Then it's a lot less funny.
well, the last few people that have been in the cage with me, they had smiles on their face. Unfortunately, the last few motherfuckers that have been in the cage with me, they didn't have a little happy ending and shit, bro. That's cool though.
Dude, that's the realest answer ever.
Hey, look. We don't deal in fake shit. It's got its reality. It's like
I love it, dude. Well, why is this one gonna be different, bro? What's the matchup is sick. 2 super experienced dudes, which I just love to see. But what do you think about this fight in particular against Mike Thompson?
Honestly, and this might sound weird, but I don't really think much about him. I watched a couple fights from him. Like you said, he's a veteran fighter. At this point in the game, if you're fighting somebody with 10, 15 plus fights, you just got to assume that they're going to be tough and good. But honestly, the difference is I'm just worried about me. I'm just having fun training, developing in different areas. I don't even recognize myself right now, honestly, in training. So I'm just really happy to be fighting again. And who doesn't like fighting?
Hey, some people don't, but nobody would ever say that about you.
It's natural. It's natural to like to fight, though.
I agree. I'm sure you've heard Dana White talk about there's a basketball game going on over here, a football game going on over here, and a fight breaks out over here. Everybody's watching the fight. That's what you want
to watch the fight. But no, yeah. But honestly, no, I feel great. Really, like the last, I don't know, year and a half ish, kind of. I just been enjoying different little stuff here or there. Getting my body back right where it needs to be physically and stuff. Tweaking different stuff here or there. Working on different specific stuff. Not just grappling related, but more so even on my stand up. So yeah, it's been just part of the journey. Only like on year 8 or 9, so I'm still pretty new.
It's crazy to think that you are, pretty new. It feels like you've been around forever. You and Kama obviously feel like you've been around forever. But like you said, dude, still young, still fresh, still athletically in your prime. Got to be feeling great coming in. And this card is going to have our first ever Muay Thai fights on it, which is great. But which ties into your most recent fight was Muay Thai, right? Up in New York?
Yep.
Dude, that promotion looked great from what I saw.
It was. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good promotion to go for. To go up there and fight with. They put on a decent show. It was good, even matchups, which is always the best. Like you're like as matchmakers yourselves and stuff. Y'all know, like when you get to put on a card where it's like every fight, no matter whether it's very experienced guys or new guys, it's evenly matched up. It just makes it entertaining night. But no, yeah, it was fun. It was a fun experience. First time up in Buffalo for fighting, so we went up there, got a win, and now it's time to come to Pittsburgh to do it.
Nice, man. Yeah, and like you said about even matchups, that's something we always aim to do, almost to a fault sometimes. We've heard from some local coaches and whatnot.
No such thing as a fault.
They're a little too hard sometimes.
No such thing as a fault with even matchups. Shit.
Nah, man. I totally agree.
Don't give me nobody unless y'all think they're gonna whip my ass. That's the type of matchup. If you think that I'm gonna beat them, don't even send them my way. Give me somebody you think gonna whip my ass, and then we're gonna deal with it in the cage.
Yeah, man. So the last time the Calvin Harbaugh fight, I think, is a perfect example. Everybody knew that was a rough matchup for you, but what did you learn from that? Did it go? Obviously, that was like a worst case scenario of how it could go for you. But what did you learn from that? And how'd you grow from that?
It was actually a best case scenario, weirdly.
Okay.
Because I mean, like I learned, like I mean, you have to like as much as I love fighting, like because F it, I'll fight any day, anywhere. You have to just take the proper preparation. And sometimes you just gotta say nah, even though you want to really just fight, you just gotta look at it like, okay, I need a little more time doing this. I'm not making no excuses for nothing, but sometimes it's just not the right time to be fighting. You just ain't got the shit lined up in life right. But that being said, he's a tough motherfucker. Went in there, thought I could do that, but it was his night. But shit, we never know what happens in the future.
That's dead on, man. Dead on. That's a great way to look at it, a great mentality. And I'm sure people can tell if this is the first time they've ever heard from you. They can tell already you're mentally, you're a very chill and professional person, but always just you keep everything in a really good context is what I would say. You never let a loss get you too low. You never let a win get you too high. And I think staying somewhere in the middle is so important as a fighter. So where does that come from for you? How are you able to do that?
I mean, I think it's just coming from being realistic. Like when I decide to fight, it's like, okay, I want to fight for a long time. I want to have a long journey. So I can't get too invested in just the beginning of the journey or where I'm at in the middle of it. It's a long-term picture. Like you said, I can't get too happy when you win. You can't get too upset when you lose. Because it makes martial arts like you're always getting better at something. You always can get better at something. So yeah, that's how I look at it. Like, it's fun, man. If fighting is the hardest thing I'm doing, I got a great life.
Nice, man. I love that perspective. That's awesome. I also want to give you a huge shout out for making our lives so easy when this BitB21.5 / BitB22 stuff was going down. We had booked so many fights and had so many fighters that wanted fights that the commission made us split this in two. Like, that's why we're having two cards. And I was kind of worried when I asked you, man. I was like, dude, how would you feel about being on the early card? Because the night one's full right now. And you were like, shit, let me fight as early as I can that day. Yeah. I don't care.
I mean, and honest, and now looking back as the business side of me is looking like, Shaka, you're really effed up. just being serious, because now it's like, yeah, you gotta tell people to get babysitters during the day, call off work and shit. So I kind of screwed myself, but honestly no. But I love fights, and part of that is like, you already know my brother's fighting, so I need some time to so we could decompress and all that good shit after my win. But there's so many good fights, like you said, on the card, both of them. I want to see everybody else fight. To be honest, like if y'all can make me the very first goddamn fight of the night, I'll fight before the amateurs. Like there's tons of good guys on the card, so I'm looking forward to really being able to just go out there, set the tone, take care of business, and then just sit back and watch my teammates really competing, as well as other training partners in the city. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, I wanted to talk about that real quick because the academy, I think this has to be the most academy fighters fighting on one day for us. I think there's 4 altogether with Cavelli, Potts, you and Kama. So the whole gym, what's the vibe like at the gym right now? Because like it seems like everybody's getting ready for a fight right now. So what's that feel like for you guys?
Like you just said, everybody getting ready for a fight. Fight camp is always special. Everybody tries to dig in and really show up for people. And it's just, you got to come to get work. Sparring days, make sure you coming. Like you said, Kamo's getting ready to fight. So, he's coming. He's talking hella shit. He's just loud as hell, like always. They got Taylor, Tyler, and Kobe. They're also fighting, and they're all pretty chill. So, it's just, real competitive. Everybody getting after it. But not just for this fight camp, though. It's been like that kind of for the last few months. Not months, but the last couple cards and stuff. Everybody's just dialing in and just making improvements. One of the people that's not fighting on this card that I've been getting a lot of work in with my boy Craig. That motherfucker, man, he's really he's showing a lot of improvement. Not just recently, but over like the last 12 months even. So yeah, it's exciting time.
Yeah, man, we had a fighter on before you, John. He was actually the first one on this episode, Cam Smith. I don't know if you remember him, an amateur 135er.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
And he's very similar to Craig. Started 0-3. Now he's 2-3-1, starting to piece it together, starting to figure it out. Same weight class as Craig. And we teased, like, I always thought Cam Smith versus Craig Perry would be an absolute banger. And with Craig's development, man, like you said, he's turning into a different kind of animal.
Oh yeah. But like you said though, that's the that's like MMA though. Like you can't get, okay, so you started out 0-2-3 in your amateur MMA career. So what? You gonna pack it up? All right, then you should have never came into the gym in the first goddamn place. So like stop wasting your fucking time. And that's the thing, is like guys gotta realize, like, you have to be consistent. You have to consistently show up. You gotta be able to win consistently and do it for years and years and years.
Absolutely, man. And you're definitely a testament to that. I mean, like you kind of joke that you're just getting started 9 years in, but 9 years is a long ass time to be fighting in MMA. Most careers, I would say, are a year to 2 years max.
That's because them motherfuckers is pie. But I mean, like, it take like you gotta look at it though. If you're not gonna get good in any one discipline until what, 5, 6, 7 years, like, to really get good. Like, I mean, it depends on what level you want to reach. Like, you just want to be the cool guy that took a couple fights in your city, then cool, that's what you're striving for. But if you really want to try to go test yourself, you got to realize, like, all right, I got to put in damn near decades. Unless you just want them special motherfuckers.
Yeah. And once in a while, you see those guys.
Once in a while, exactly. But shit, I rolled into the gym at like 23 years old after a frat party. So, I'm on a different schedule.
Love it, dude. I can't let you go without asking about this. It was one of the most fun posts we've had in a while with that the Worthy Brothers post. And you and Kama started going back and forth saying you'd fight each other for free. I just want to be clear. Does that offer stand if somebody shows up with $5? Will you guys spar each other?
Shit, as long as they gonna take as long as they ready to put their mouthpiece in and go the next round, it's good to go.
All right, so you guys heard it here first. You can watch Shaka versus Kama, but you have to get winner after. That's how it works.
You gotta come to the gym ready to spar Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I love it, man. Well, I'm not going to keep you from work any longer, brother. I always appreciate you jumping on. I'm crazy excited for this card.
Thank you.
June 29th, Shaka fights at noon. All right, let's be very clear.
Get them babysitters. Tell them you need about 3.5 hours. You don't need to be, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what, it's also, you've been to our fights. It's a family-friendly show. You
It
can
is.
bring
It
the
is.
kids.
No, exactly. Yeah, let me bring the goddamn kids out. Bring the damn kids. Pull up, watch a little violence, have a good time.
They're going to love it, man. One of our sponsors, Strip District Meats, the GM, Brad, he brought his son, who's about between 6 and 8, I would say. I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but he brought him to 2 cards ago. And he's like, dude, my son is like addicted to this
He's
now. He
addicted.
started
You know
training.
they will be. Kids love it. They will like
dude.
music playing. It's a fun environment. It doesn't ever get crazy and stuff. Speaking of Strip District Meats, I don't eat meat. So once I knock this motherfucker out and win Fight of the Year, I'm gonna need y'all to hand me over like a bunch of gift cards for veggie burgers or some shit. And
That's
I
hilarious.
don't do steak, but with the performance I'm gonna try to put on, I'm gonna want something. All right.
We'll figure that out. We'll
Take
work
some
with him and
Boca
see what we
burgers,
can do.
Morning Star, anything.
There we go. We'll figure out some meatless options. I'm not sure Strip District meat. I'm not sure if they carry any of that, but I'm sure they can get it
A
for you.
Beyond Burger.
Get you some Beyond Burger, maybe some Beyond sausage or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll roll with that punch. All right, bro. We'll let you get back to work, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for jumping on, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. I'll see y'all in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Peace out, man.
Peace.
All right. That was Shaka Worthy. Always one of the best times having him on the show, him and his brother. You guys know the personalities are as big as the fighting talent with those two. So there's never a doubt inside and outside of the cage. They're bringing the heat. So tune in June 29th, Brawl in the Burgh 21.5 to watch Shaka take on Mike Thompson. He's towards the end of that card in the pro MMA portion of it. So get your tickets, 247fighting.com. That's BitB21.5. You just heard from a bunch of competitors on the last episode. You heard from a bunch of competitors. If they haven't convinced you that this is a night worth coming to, I don't know what to tell you. They're ready to go. You guys are in for an absolutely amazing afternoon of fights starting at noon. Just think, you can wake up at 9 a.m. on Saturday, get ready, get to Monroeville, and fights will be starting. Like, it's the perfect day. You don't even have to wait till the night. It's exciting. It's like a 1 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. When the Steelers play at 1, you know, you wake up, you kind of get some things rolling, and then boom, the game's on. It's not like a night game. At 8 p.m., you're waiting all day, and then they crap the bed, and you're like, why did I wait all day for that game? Now I'm just disappointed. This is not that. You wake up, you show up, Monroeville Convention Center at 11 a.m. Doors open at 11 a.m. Go in, get a drink, get your seat, settle in, have some fun. We got a banger lineup for you guys. Thank you, all the competitors that were on this show. It was an awesome episode. Really appreciate all of you for jumping on. And we will see you all June 29th. One more time for you. Tickets, live stream info, full fight cards. It's all available, 247fighting.com. Get it all there. Support the fighters in local combat sports, man. This is going to be a crazy day for Pittsburgh combat sports history. Honestly, this doubleheader is insane. Part 1 of that doubleheader, BitB21.5, June 29th at noon. We'll see you all there. Thanks for joining.